Good to see everyone here today. I think we have a few more people trying to finish their food very quickly and get into the auditorium, but we're going to go ahead and get started. It's great to see everyone today. I'd like to start by acknowledging that we have with us today our many members of our Board of Trustees. We have Suzanne Brown-Crow, we have Paul Da Silva, Wandine Trainer, Stephanie O'Brien, we have Crystal Martinez, and I know our other trustees are probably either trying to make it here or wish that they could be here. So let's thank them for their service to the college, to the community. I will tell you right now, I'm going to introduce new employees, and then after that, we have a little bit of College of Marin trivia, given that we're going into our centennial. So if you think you know a few things about the college, get ready to come up here and participate in trivia. And I will tell you, if you're not sure you want to get up on stage, there are prizes. But to start, let's welcome some new folks to the college, new folks and new roles. And when I introduce you, if you can stand and wave, that would be great. So we have Sarah Berger, our Interim Assistant Director of Donor Relations and Community Engagement. Rosa Mendez, Administrative Assistant 2 in Student Accessibility Services. Welcome to college. Garrett O'Brien, Child Study Center Specialist 3. Hayden Osborne, Instructional Assistant, Machine and Metals. Gretchen Ott, Child Study Center Specialist 3. We all know Monica Rudolph, but she's now the Administrative Assistant 3 in Community Education. Gail Rulota, Director of Student Services for Student Accessibility Services. Bradley Wanstall, Senior Benefits Analyst. And we are happy to welcome back to the college and here with us today, Stormy Miller, Sadie, Will you be signing autographs after, Stormy? All right, those are the management and classified folks that we have with us. We also have a number of part-time faculty starting with us this spring. Devin Allen in film, Michael Bauer in drama, Morgan Beckett, medical assisting, Abra Berman, drama technical theater, Terry Chang in chemistry, Sophia Eckert in counseling, Young Kim, drama technical theater, Tim Copra, art 3D sculpture, Sandra Murray, dental assisting, Stephen Perez in film, Anu Sharma in chemistry, and Erica Kanamachi in film. Welcome to all of you, and thanks to everyone who has been participating, and all the folks in HR and faculty professional developments and others who've been welcoming everyone through our employee orientation and new faculty orientation. So as I mentioned, we're going to have a little bit of trivia. So we're now officially in our centennial year, 2026. 100 years as the community college. Now in a bit, we're going to hear about some upcoming celebrations and events, but we're going to start with some interesting bits of college history. So, if you would like to win some prizes, you can make your way to the stage. I'd like to get at least 3 or 4 folks up here who are brave enough to do this. They're good prizes. Free lunch, maybe a dinner. Come on. I know Diamond, you know a lot. I don't know. You're a winner. I don't know if you need. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up on the stage. Who else do we have? Do we need someone else? We got one more. We get one more person, one more brave soul. You don't actually have to know much about the college to win prizes, so you can have, if you want to come up as a team, you can do that. Let's have you come over here. All right. else coming down? All right, great. We're going to stand up here. All right. So I've got a number of questions. Now, each of you, pass that down. All right, come on up. Okay, let's have you come over here and make sure your X is facing out toward the crowd. All right. Now, we're going to start, make sure everyone knows who our contestants are here today.
Aubrey Wade.
Paul Silva.
Lauren Amundsen.
All right, these four brave souls. Now, when you think you know the answer to the question, you hit your buzzer. You can practice now. All right. Now, I may need your help to determine who buzzes in first. All right, so we don't have anyone trying to sneak in. We don't want a quiz show scandal. All right, are you ready? Are you ready for the first question? Which alum is the current basketball court named after?
John Barstow.
Don Barksdale. That's right. That's good. We need, anyone in the math department, can you do me a favor and keep track of the score here? That was a 1-point question. All right. So here's the one that's a little more difficult. What was Fusselman Hall called prior to being named Fusselman Hall?
Wasn't it the library?
That is correct. Fusselman Library. All right. All right, here's another. What letters are inscribed in the rafters in Fusselman Hall?
FH.
I'm sorry, Kyle. That's incorrect. The good news is there are not negative points for wrong answers. Anyone else?
TL.
T for the library? That's good. That's good. No. Okay. Would anyone else like to guess what letters are inscribed in the rafters? Who has not already guessed?
Is it an MD or an MJD?
MJC for Marin Junior College. There you go. All right. Which building, constructed in 1931, burned down on December 16th, 1963? You can see it there in the back. That's College Avenue. Any guesses?
Student services?
No. No? Does anyone in the audience know? The gymnasium. That's right. The gymnasium used to be located there where parking lot 6 is. All right. Where were IBC classes held beginning in 1971 until the current campus opened in 1975?
Indian Valley, Nevada.
That's the current location. So prior to that, where were classes?
Say Nevada High.
Not Nevada High School.
The Nevada Country Club?
Oh. That would have been nice. Yes. Yes, it was Indian Valley College, but they were in temporary housing until the Indian Valley colleges opened at the current site. And those are barracks at Hamilton Airfield where classes were held. Okay, which country music singer and actress was a graduate of the College of Marin nursing program? Yeah. We'll even accept the last name if you can't, because there are two people that could be related to each other, mother, daughter, but this is the mother. You want to put up the... Does this help at all? Yay, there you go. Good Irish assist on that one. Naomi Jeff graduated from our nursing program. All right, in fall of 1941, enrollment was at over 800 students. But by the start of the second week of December, enrollment was only 125. What was the cause of this precipitous drop in enrollment? 1941.
World War II.
That is correct. Enlistment as the U.S. entered World War II. On April 28, 1969, 22 students and Kentfield residents were arrested. Why?
Protesting Vietnam War.
You would think so, but that is not the case.
Protesting Corte Madera Creek being channeled.
That is correct. So, ironically, almost 57 years later, we're in the process of working with the Friends of Corte Madera Creek to take away the channel and return it to its natural habitat. Interestingly enough, there were also protests on the campus at that time led by many of the college's African American students to promote additional student aid for students, although they were not arrested. In addition to being a college of Marin instructor for over 30 years, what is Professor Emerita Kay Ryan best known for?
Poet laureate of the United States.
That is correct. She is the 16th U.S. Poet Laureate. All right, now we have a group activity. You're going to work together on this, because I'm pretty sure I didn't know the answer, so we'll see if you collectively can. Group activity, and you get points for each correct response. Name the college's 11 presidents. And I sure hope you can get at least one or two. Work together on this. We'll give you a second. And in the audience, who? For those of you who are out there doing the math in your head, how many can you name? How close can you get to 11? I got stuck at 7 and needed help. At first it was 6, and then I remembered I'd count myself. All right, do we have a sense here? All right.
Jonathan Elder. David Green.
And then, okay, before that we had.
You worked here at the time. You should know some of it.
Yeah, I was going back to the first, but then we had Fran White and we had Los Cal interim, right?
That's right. We're not looking for interim presidents, so be technical. We'll put an asterisk there.
Middleton.
James Middleton.
And then we had, we're going back early. Now both Olney and Austin.
Olney was the first president. Austin followed him. That's correct. Red Diamond was. He was interim president, but then came back and was named president. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the 7 that I knew. So after Olney and Austin, there was Epler, then Ramstad, Grasham, Diamond, Miller, Middleton, White, Cooper. So there you go. All right, so this is the last question. All right, you ready for it? What odd activity, and I'm going to give you a hint. No, take that down. We don't want them to look back there and see that. This is timely given some recent events. What odd activity took place on the athletic field in 1962? And the athletic field was then located where parking lot 1 and 7 are now between College and Kent Evans. What odd activity took place in 1962 on the athletic field? Now you can put it up.
Water skiing.
That's right. We had flooding and there was some water skiing in the athletic field. All right. I'm not sure. I think Trustee De Silva, he probably had an advantage. I want to tell you there was no, he's not a ringer, but he did work here for a very long time. So, but I think he ended up with the most points, but not all of the points. There were, I think Laura had some, you ended up in the negative, but that's okay. We still have you. You have some great guesses, very intuitive. So we have a little gift bag for each of you, and then what we're going to do, because you did make such a great team working together, at some point we will schedule a time where all of us, I will take you all out to lunch. All right. Okay, let's thank our panelists one more time. Hopefully everyone learned. I learned something coming up with those questions. We could be here all day. There's some really fascinating things in the college's history. We'll be learning about many more of them throughout the year as we progress with our centennial. In fact, we have some current students working on research with the Marin History Museum, Kentfield Green Beret Historical Society, our own archives soon, and others to put together some displays, have some additional information about the college's history. Before we move any further, we're going to stick with the centennial theme for a minute, and I'm going to invite up some folks who are helping to coordinate upcoming events and opportunities and activities related to the centennial to give updates and make sure you know about the need and want for your participation in those. So if I could have Lauren and Jeffrey and Nicole and T come on up, that would be great. Come on up. And Lauren, I believe you are kicking us off. So great. Welcome to Lauren Service.
Aloha kakaliaka, good morning. If we have never met, my name is Lauren Service. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and it's my honor to be Dean of Arts and Humanities here at College of Marin. It's what I love. So the Learning Landscape Project is an invitation to learn about our campus. Both the debt we owe to our Indigenous stewards and to learn our history, the people, the stories that comprise College of Marin. So over this semester and throughout the centennial, you will begin to see plaques on both the Kentfield and IBC campus that invites you to learn. There's also going to be a QR code on each of those plaques that takes you to a website to learn even more. So if you've got your phone out, feel free to take a look at this QR code. It will take you to a website to learn about our butterfly way stations that was stewarded by Professor Agudelo Silva and also our students. And I'll give you a little moment. The Learning Landscape Project is also attempting to seed a larger project, one that invites us to assess the very paradigms by which we hold people, land, and nature in relationship with each other and also ourselves. We're asking questions like, what are our relationships between land and people? Are those relationships reifying the extraction and accumulation of resources and power that we learned through settler colonialism? And instead, could we foster and cultivate relationships that weave care, responsibility, accountability, and also love? So over the next semester and beyond, be on the lookout for emails from us that invite you to join us to learn more. Thanks, everyone.
Good morning, everybody. My name is T. My pronouns are she, they, ege, and I'm the Equity and Activities Coordinator in the Office of Student Activities and Advocacy. I'm excited to announce that our Spring 2026 Welcome Week, Cultivating Community and Care, begins on February 2nd. And we're really excited that this year we are going to have the CSS ribbon cutting ceremony will be held during Welcome Week on Wednesday, February 4th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the planning team. If you're on the planning team that's been coordinating this event, feel free to give a wave. Thank you all for the work that we've been doing this as we work on this really, really special day. The ribbon cutting ceremony will be on the creek side of CSS beginning at 11 a.m. The time will be the official dedication of the building, including honoring our former college president, Dr. Kuhn, whom the building is named after. Directly following the ceremony, we will welcome students, employees, and the community into the building, and the theme of it is Travel on a Journey Through the CSS. All participants will start at the Creekside entrance at the departure area, where they will get customized totes, luggage tags, and a passport. Each will have information about the offices and a stamp sheet. Each floor will have giveaways, food, and each program and office will have stamps for participants to gather on their passport so they can enter the opportunity drawing at the end of their trip at the arrival table on the Creekside entrance where it began. The opportunity drawing includes 2 $500 scholarships courtesy of the Advancement Office, thank you Advancement Office, which is only open to enrolled students. The opportunity drawing is open to all and will be multiple swag baskets. People will not have to be present for the drawings to win. If you're interested in assisting with the festivities on that day, please contact Sadiqa Suleiman Hara via email, and we look forward to seeing you at this really exciting special ceremony and opening of the CSS. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to spring semester. My name is Nicole Cruz, and I'm Director of Marketing and Communications. And our office has been very fortunate to work with 2 Centennial Fellows on the Time Capsule Project. So student Alexander Spitzer laid the groundwork in fall for ideas on how to collect both a physical time capsule and then a digital time capsule. This semester, we have student Bridget Good, who's going to be helping with opportunities out in the community for everybody to submit their ideas for what should be included in the time capsule that will be dedicated, excuse me, at the Founders Day celebration on Monday, April 6th. And this will be sort of like the Spring Fling, only bigger and including more our community members outside of the campus. So with that, I'll hand it over to Dr. Reeder.
Hello everyone, good morning and welcome. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Tador Reeder. I'm the Interim Dean of Math and Sciences, and it's a pleasure for me to be here with you today to talk about our Centennial Showcase that will take place in the first week of May, May 4th through 8th of this year. But first, I wanted to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year because 2025 was a thing, right? And I did, I think y'all did too, had high hopes for 2026, and well, now 2026 is happening, and we're starting to wonder about that. But we're here today at Convocation. Convocation, that word comes from Latin convocare, to call together. We're being called together by President Eldridge at the beginning of a new semester. We don't get much to control what happens outside of our county, outside of our state, outside of this country, this continent. But we do get to control a lot and set the tone for what happens here on our campus. And I'm in my 4th or maybe 5th month, but I'm very proud to be here. And every day I learn something new about exciting things that are going on. Yesterday I took for the first time a tour of the greenhouse that's on campus, and I saw students working to clear and cultivate and till the soil so that they could place seedlings of milkweed, which they would then plant, which maybe 10 years hence, they can come back and show their family, their friends, anybody, I planted that, and that's now a way station for monarch butterflies in their journey. This is not the only thing that's happening on campus. Hundreds and hundreds of little things like these that make me proud to be here, that make us all proud to be here, happen. And it's hard to sometimes coordinate and see all of these things, and especially display them to the public. And so that's what the Centennial Showcase is about. So you saw an email in December. You'll see another email again inviting you to participate in the Centennial Showcase. Participation could be something as small and little as your students have a presentation at the end of the class, open it to the public. Or something that you're working on in a lab, or a theatrical performance, or maybe you have beautiful art photographs of osprey and eagles on a wall that you've taken, or maybe you've painted rocks that are symbolic, that are hidden around campus. Whatever those things are, you should feel encouraged and even, dare I say, persuaded to let me know about them so that we can organize them and share them together in a way that we can all learn about the wonderful things that are happening, because we are giving hope and dreams and meeting the needs of our students that are coming. And that we can do, and the more we know about and share what we're doing, the better that works. So thank you. Please participate. Look for that email, May 4 to 8 Centennial Showcase.
Thank you all very much for that. We're now going to have a few brief updates from different areas of the college. So I'm going to ask first Vice President Emerson and Vice President Harris to come on up. Vice President Pooch is out sick today, so at the end, before I say a few other things, I'll share a couple of words on her behalf. But Vice President Emerson?
I feel like this is just the longest ongoing joke here. I follow Jonathan. Good morning, everyone. I just need to confess that I left my entire presentation and all my notes at home. Yay, 2026. So I'm going to do the best that I can for what it is that I have today. So welcome to Spring 2026. As we begin our new semester together, I want to anchor us in 3 simple but powerful words: yesterday, today, and tomorrow. These words remind us that our work is not static. It is cumulative, responsive, and forward-looking. They are built on what we have learned, attentive to where we are, and intentional about where we're going next. So looking back at fall 2025, 3 things stand out for me: communication, field positions, and progress in the Center for Student Success. One of the most important lessons I learned is that stronger communication doesn't start with emails or announcements, it starts with conversations. That is why VP Connect was launched as informal drop-in office hours, and these sessions were created spaces for faculty and staff to share updates, ask questions, and surface ideas that help us serve students better. VP Connect will continue this spring with themed sessions, and dare I say, beginning on January 27th, which will be the first session of spring, the theme will be BLTP. Okay. Thank you. Let's move on. Looking at today, a culture of planning, we're going to focus on a culture of planning and a culture of data. A culture of planning means we share a common understanding that planning is not a one-time event, it is a continuous collaborative process. It improves alignment between priorities, resources, strengths, equity-focused decision-making, and increase in institutional agility. When planning is embedded in our daily work, we are better positioned to respond to students' needs in real time. Next. And alongside with our culture of planning is our culture of data collection and use. This is about moving beyond anecdotes and towards evidence-based strategies. So many of you have heard me say that we are moving in a culture of planning, and part of that is collecting data that is useful for us to assess what it is that we've done and to plan what it is that we want to do next. next. This leads us to looking forward to tomorrow. Our next phase, for me, centers on integrative planning, intentional follow-up, and deeper collaboration. I plan on doing an upcoming integrative annual planning retreat to bring together and co-create opportunities and priorities for student-centered success and increase departmental understanding. I'm also going to suggest that we participate in a You Said We Did campaign where we actively share information based on surveys that have been distributed and really get a clarified and deeper understanding of what is happening across the college. And finally, I'd like to institute a student success collaborative forum where we do just that. It is designed to create interventions and strengthen persistence and success for students. Finally, as we move through the semester together, I invite each of us to stay grounded in yesterday's lessons, fully engage in today's opportunities, and stay boldly committed to tomorrow's possibilities. And I hope y'all saw the lead to the centennial. Thank you so much. Next up, DEO.
Good morning. I will say this is my first time on stage here at the James Stein, so I see faces, I don't, but Happy New Year. One of the things I'm gonna do this morning before we get started, because I know we're about to go deep into the semester, we're all gonna get busy. So I just wanna say thank you in advance. Thank you for the support of our students. Thank you for encouraging our students. Thank you for encouraging each other, working with each other, collaborating with each other in advance. Because I know we get busy and sometimes we miss the mark. So I just wanna say that up front. I also wanna welcome all new employees. I know Dr. Eldridge just did that, but welcome to the College of Marin. There's multiple things that we're doing here throughout the spring semester, and we would love for you to join us in some of those activities. And lastly, I would like to thank my HR department. Can my HR staff stand up, please? Because they work really hard to ensure that you all have what you need in order to support our students. So just to bring you guys' attention to a few things we're doing this year around employee engagement. One of the things we launched in the fall semester was HR huddles, and we've had 3 so far, and it's been a wonderful turnout. We have a few more scheduled for the spring semester, and our first one's kicking off in February, and it's welcome aboard for new hires. We know we've been doing a lot of orientation, a lot of onboarding, but we also want to ensure that you still have the support and offer more resources to you as you navigate your way through the college in your first couple of months. Another big event coming up this year that we're celebrating for the first time here at the College of Marin is Employee Appreciation Day. That is a national day. If you all have never heard of it, it's celebrated throughout the United States. So we will have a fun-filled day full with activities, food, wellness, anything around wellness, and a few surprises here and there. As a note, Employee Appreciation Day does not replace the Employee Appreciation Luncheon and Retiree Recognition Program. You'll see that up there as well as an event that's happening on May 20th. All right, so with the new building opening, just want to share that we get a discount at King Owl. So one of the things here, you'll see students get 25% discount, employees get 10% discount. If you want to get a latte, coffee, whatever it is there. However, they may ask for some type of identification that you work here as an employee. So I encourage you all, if you haven't already, get your employee identification card. You can get that through enrollment services. All you need is your MU number, or you can actually do it online. And as Dean Harnick shared with me earlier, you can upload your picture and submit it in online and make it as easy as possible. So please, if you are in CSS, you can stop by Peak Out today. They're open and enjoy your cup of coffee, and I think they have some other things there as well. Yeah. Lastly, just to reflect on the semester, because we get busy, and sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves. So I wanted to kind of share a few wellness tips with you all. Today are resources you may not be aware that's available to you. So there's this app called Down Dog Yoga app. You use your Calm email address to download it, and you have, at no cost, you have free access to quite a few fitness experience, health, nutrition, and all of that that employees can take advantage of. So we want you to be taking care of yourself. So another tip we have that's going to be here on March 6th, which is Employee Appreciation Day, is biometric screening. And who had that before? Good, I like seeing that. We want more of you guys to have that, because that actually tells you a lot about what's going on with you health-wise and how you can make adjustments to ensure you remain healthy and so forth. And last, and I'm sure all of you all have heard of EAP. Our Employee Assistance Program is not just offering support for counseling services, but it does quite a bit more than that. It actually helps you in your household, from financial wellness to health to legal services, whatever it is that you desire, they offer those as an option. So I would encourage you all to check out the EAP program. All this information will be shared with you via an Allcom email coming from our office. And once again, thank you all, and have a good semester.
Thank you, Nikki and Dana, appreciate that. As I mentioned, Vice President Arisa Pooch is out sick today. She did want me to share with everyone that she will be giving a series of communications out to the college community, including that she will be hosting, she and the folks in her areas will be hosting operational insights, regular opportunities to learn more about all the areas across finance and operations. And she also wanted to highlight a few of our environmental impact mitigation efforts that are underway that she and Klaus Christensen and Revathi Nachan and others are leading, which include, we now have EV chargers installed at the M&O building so that we can start procuring and transitioning away from internal combustion fleet to electric vehicles. We will be starting next month, we will begin transitioning our current, now outdated EV charging ports at the campuses to new, more advanced ones. Yes, I know. We also, at the end of today's program, hopefully you'll all be able to join us for one of the several receptions over in the Center for Student Success. You will notice when you get inside new waste bins that include two types of recycling and compost as well as landfill. And those will start appearing next in the Science, Math, and Nursing building, in DB Hall, and then spread out throughout the rest of this year to the rest of this campus and IVC as we work to comply with that and get into the 21st century. There'll be many other updates as well, including the work happening in conjunction with the California Renewable Energy Lab to determine feasibility for us to be our own microgrid and other things upcoming. So she sends her regrets and she wishes everyone a wonderful Convocation Day. Okay, so as we enter this centennial year, with so much to look forward to internally at the college, we do so in the context of regional, national, and global concerns. And I think it warrants acknowledging this as the myriad issues at play in the world rightfully weigh heavily on us throughout every day. A December 2025 Public Policy Institute of California survey finds the economy and political climate are seen quite pessimistically by Californians, with concerns about housing, healthcare, the environment, and general affordability being pronounced, along with worries about the impact of federal policies and administrative actions. Now, for colleges, particularly those of us in higher cost areas such as Marin, we need to understand the impact these issues have on our students and their families. While not all of our students face resource challenges, many do, and many have anxiety about housing, about food, and other basic needs, in addition to the more existential anxieties about the world they're inheriting. Which is all the more reason for us to coordinate our efforts, globally, system-wide, programmatically, and individually, in and out of the classroom to ensure that our campuses are places of safety, support, and resources. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. We can always do better. I want to pause for a moment, and I want to acknowledge the work of Keith Rosenthal, our Director of Advancement, along with our trustees and many others who've been working to match the Pritzker's $10 million Basic Needs Endowment Grant. And for those of you who don't know, Dan and Karen Pritzker were generous enough to offer us a challenge grant. We are now nearing $4 million raised toward our $10 million goal of matching that grant, with two recent $1 million gifts in addition to several $250,000 and many other smaller but still substantial donations to this endowment fund. As a reminder, this $20 million endowment will sit there forever, and every year it will generate about $1 million in perpetuity annually to support student basic needs. So, what better way to celebrate a centennial theme of honoring our past and defining our future than to define a future where we can make sure that we are protecting our students now and into the future so that they can focus on their education. And I think this is incredibly important because Inside Higher Ed recently compiled a series of data points, and I thought that it might help inform our understanding of our particular moment in time. So here are some trends they have identified heading into 2026 based on their survey data. 80% of college students nationwide rate the quality of their education as good or excellent, up 7% from just a year ago. Although only 1/3 of college students report they are thriving personally. 71% of college students nationally have experienced financial trouble while enrolled in college. 84% say they know when and whether to use generative AI to help them with their coursework, with most of them attributing that knowledge to faculty instruction and syllabus language. You may or may not agree with those 84%. 94% of employers, and I think this is an important one, 94% of employers think it's equally important for colleges to help students become informed citizens as it is to prepare a skilled and educated workforce. Yet 87% of Gen Z students said they feel unprepared to succeed at work due to limited guidance, unclear paths to career from school, and uncertainty about which skills matter most. So there's work to be done there nationally. And I think we do a pretty good job of that, but again, we can always look to do better. These last two data points brings me to a final point before we turn to the rest of our program. At our last convocation, I suggested we can best protect ourselves from federal attacks and other outside issues and influences by practicing both mission fidelity and telling our story well. Now recently, Undersecretary of Education for Higher Education, Nicholas Kent, whom most of us probably have never heard of before, made remarks to the National Advisory Committee on Institutional Quality and Integrity, which of course we all know is the advisory group for accreditors and accreditation nationwide. I didn't remember that was the group, but there you go. This is the group that allows all the accreditors to focus on ensuring institutional quality and integrity. He made clear in his remarks this administration's disdain for higher education, quite frankly, among other things. But I want to focus on one specific part of his remarks, because it shows both a real misunderstanding of the purpose of higher education, as well as our failure as a sector to tell our story well. Here's what Mr. Kent said. The Burning Glass Institute's 2024 report on post-secondary graduates' employment noted that 45% of college graduates are working a job that does not require their degree 10 years after graduation. If borrowing to pay for a degree is an investment in your career and future, What does it say about the value of the education you received if the degree a student has earned does not actually align with their career? And how valuable is a degree that is not used? Well, this is where I think we've lost our messaging. I have a degree in history, and I think Mr. Kent would believe that my degree is neither used nor valuable since I am in a field and position that does not require a history degree. For the record, I use my history degree every day, both in my work and outside of it. Likewise, I, and I imagine most folks in the room, have been cared for by physicians who studied political science as undergrads, represented by lawyers who studied sociology, and we all know entrepreneurs and scientists who studied art history and music. We need to help our students, communities, and perhaps especially our politicians understand that while a byproduct of a quality education is career success and mobility, the real value of higher education to a society is a citizenry that can think critically, conduct meaningful research, communicate effectively, synthesize complex information, and work collaboratively. These are the skills honed regardless of major, and they are the skills employers want and our society needs. But perhaps that is why some politicians are seemingly anti-education. Now, if that's the case, all the more need for us to tell the story of our impact as often and in as many ways as we can. I am so thankful that you are doing this work, as it makes it both easy and exciting to tell the College of Marin story. Now, these images up here tell the story through the built environment of the college over its 100 years. Our campuses have changed with time, but really have retained their purpose to create spaces for critical thinking, for research, for synthesis, for community building. But our story can also and needs to be told in conversation with the communities we serve, and also through program review, accreditation self-study, and through our 100,000 plus alumni whose time at the College of Marin impacted each of their trajectories in remarkable and profound ways. So we have with us today some alumni who are going to come to the stage momentarily when I introduce them. And they have some great stories to tell. So as a way to both honor our past and look to define our future, I would like to introduce our alumni panelists. So first, and when I start introducing you, you can each come up and take a seat. First, we are fortunate to have with us Isela Sosa Mendoza, and her journey embodies the transformative power of community college education. A first-generation student and mother of 2 teenagers, Isela began at College of Marin in ESL program in 2018, simply hoping to improve her English and secure better employment. What she discovered changed everything, a passion and aptitude for mathematics that would reshape her future. With support from College of Marin, Mesa, and EOPS, Isela completed 4 associate's degrees and pursued science research internships at Stanford University, UC Davis, and UC Berkeley. Now a second-year mechanical engineering student at UC Davis, she's also a UC Leeds Fellow on the PhD track, though she's too humble to mention it herself. So we took care of that for you. Isela's dedication extends beyond academics. She's a remarkably active community volunteer who has earned numerous prestigious awards, including recognition from Silicon Valley Latinos in Technology, the Chicana Latina Foundation, Mesa Spirit of the Community, and AAUW Women in STEM, among many others. Her story reminds us that with the right support and opportunity, students can discover potential they never knew they had. Please welcome Isela. And now I would like to invite to the stage Crystal Martinez, one of our College of Marin trustees. Crystal currently serves as legislative aide to Marin County Supervisor Mary Stafford. In her county role, she supports constituent services, policy coordination, and community engagement in San Rafael, working closely with residents to address local priorities and improve access to government. As a trustee, Crystal helps guide institutional governance and advocates for equitable access to higher education, drawing directly from her own educational journey, which included College of Marin. She began her path in community college while working full-time, later earning a bachelor's degree in business administration and a master's degree in business analytics from Dominican University of California. A longtime Marin County resident, Crystal is deeply engaged in public service and community leadership with a strong focus on expanding opportunity and ensuring local institutions remain responsive and inclusive. Welcome, Kristen Nelson. Mario Lopez's path exemplifies the power of persistence and community dedication. The son of immigrants from Guatemala and El Salvador, Mario grew up in Marin County and began his higher education right here at College of Marin, where he served as student trustee before transferring to UC Davis for his bachelor's degree in political science, then earning his JD from UC Law San Francisco. In law school, Marco co-led fundraising for the Latino Law Students Association, served on the trial team, and worked as a White House intern in President Obama's National Economic Council. Returning to UC Law in 2016, he became Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, traveling across the country to recruit diverse law students and establish partnerships with historically black colleges and universities. Mario established UC Law's first generation program in 2022 and was instrumental in launching the Cal Law Pathways program, building pipelines to law school for diverse students. This work led to his appointment as the law school's first ever Chief Diversity Officer, a position he held until returning home to Marin this past year to become the Marin Community Foundation's first ever community advocate for the Canal in West Marin. Please welcome Mario Lopez. And Lori Frugoli. Lori's lifelong commitment to public safety and justice began right here in Marin County. After graduating from Terra Linda High School, she volunteered as a police cadet at the San Rafael Police Department while attending college in Marin, launching a remarkable career breaking barriers for women in law enforcement. Lori became one of the first women to serve as a reserve police officer in San Rafael and later joined the Santa Rosa Police Department, where she worked investigations, undercover operations, and earned the Peace Officer of the Year award. She transferred to the Marin County Sheriff's Office while attending law school, then joined the Marin County District Attorney's Office in 1990. Throughout her nearly 30-year career as a Deputy District Attorney, Lori represented Marin in thousands of cases and over 100 jury trials, seeking justice for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, elder abuse, and gang crimes. She received the Jeanette Crandy Center's Champion for Children Award and was a pioneer in presenting DNA evidence in murder trials. Elected as Marin County District Attorney in 2018, Lori has dedicated her tenure to connecting the community to the courthouse, as she says, establishing programs like Veterans Treatment Court and the Gun Safety Collaborative. Please welcome District Attorney Lori Frugoli. And you all can have a seat if you like. Now, we were going to have with us one other panelist today, and I reached out to him recently, and he said, I will do whatever I can to be there. I'm going to make it work. And then, some of you may have read in the news that we had an astronaut at the International Space Station have a medical emergency, and they're bringing the crew home early, which has then thrown off a series of things happening at NASA, where Adam Stelzner was working as one of the senior engineers. And when we had our Zoom check-in last week for logistics, Adam spent the 30 minutes he had between his two final interviews to be the chief engineer of all of NASA with us, because he really wanted to make sure he was ready for the panel. And then this issue happened, and so now he is back at Mission Control. But this morning, and I thought, well, that was nice that he took this time, but this morning he sent me a note very early, and he said, things have been crazy at the Cape. I hope this gets to you, doesn't get to you too late to share with the employees of College of Marin, because I really wish I could be there. So he writes, College of Marin faculty and staff, I am sorry to be unable to be with you at the start of the 100th year spring convocation. What you do at COM and in fact, what role the community colleges play in U.S. society is very important. In 1983, I was a failed music student playing rock and roll in the SF Bay Area, living in my parents' basement. I had barely graduated high school and was working at a health food store as a cashier by day and gigging around by night. I wasn't a good musician and I wasn't happy. I was a listless wannabe. One night, driving home from playing a gig in the East Bay, I noticed that the stars were in a different place in the night sky than they had been when I had started the show. I had forgotten the whole Earth spinning on its axis thing and became curious about the apparent motion of the night sky. I signed up for an astronomy course at COM to find out why the stars were moving. It had a co-requisite course, Physics 10, Conceptual Physics. The instructor was Dr. Stephen Prada. What happened next was nothing short of life-changing. Stephen Prada and College of Marin took the spark of curiosity I had experienced in my contemplation of the night sky, and he turned it into a fire of exploration and discovery that burned across my life. I was turned on. I was nurtured and allowed to discover my native talents. Through remedial math and science courses, then actual college math and science, I was changed. I went from struggling student to valedictorian at the College of Engineering at UC Davis. I had full ride offers from Caltech, MIT, and Stanford. I went to Caltech and stayed in Southern California working at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I am writing this note from firing room number 4 in the Launch Control Center at the Kennedy Space Center, where I am acting now as NASA's chief engineer for the Artemis II mission around the moon. I have landed more spacecraft on Mars than almost any other human on Earth, save for a few close colleagues. I invented the Sky Crane landing system, written a book on innovation and leadership, and I still travel the country to speak to corporate audiences about such topics. I say this because by many measures, I have had a large impact, I hope positive, on the world around me, and all of that started with College of Marin. There are scholars who, and this is the important part, there are scholars who measure the strength and health of a society by the completeness with which it harnesses the contributions of its members. Unrealized potential can be thought of more than just a personal story, but a societal one as well. Finding those sparks of curiosity, helping students find themselves, nurturing the development of skills for success are great, important gifts that not only change lives, but change the society in which we live. Those acts of labor and kindness that you give are gifts to the future of our world. I wanted to write you today to say thank you. Thank you for the gifts that I have received from College of Marin, likely before many of you were born. And thank you for what your institution has done and continues to do to make our world a better place. Adam Stelzner. We don't have Adam with us today, but he's committed to get to campus and talk with all of us and our students and others soon. And we have so many other alums who are eager to come back to campus, share their stories, and to be with all of you. Now, I have one other alum that I want you to introduce very quickly because she's going to be our moderator for the panel today. So I'm about done talking because I'm going to turn it over to College of Marin alum and current superstar employee, Malika Smith. Malika, take it away. And I think everyone has the instructions that if you can grab the microphone that fits with your position in the, I don't know, probably close enough. All right. All right.
Alrighty, good morning everyone. I'm super excited to be up here with fellow alumni, and we're just going to ask them a few questions, not only to get to know them, but also to get to know their experience here at COM. And I have my cards here to remember the questions. Alright, so I'll start with the first question, which is, how did you first find your way to COM? And if you could, share a word or phrase that best describes your experience here. And either one of you can answer, or we can go one by one, whatever works. Start with you, Crystal. The microphone's on.
Thank you. Mine is not really unique. I had moved to Marin, and I had credits that I needed to earn in order to transfer to a four-year university, so that's how I found my way to College of Marin. But when I walked on the campus, I remember being stunned. I had been to community colleges all over the Bay Area, but this one was just absolutely breathtaking. So that was my first impression.
Hi. So my way to come was not an easy thing because as an undocumented student, I didn't have the chance to just go to school and say, oh, I want to go to school. I had to come like 2 times and get rejected because there was no financial aid for me. But then my 3rd time I came and there was hope, and somehow we figured out how to get started here, and it was just life-changing. It was a big deal. So yeah, and I came here just to learn English, and someone advised me to do the math test, and I did it, and now I'm doing it here.
Thank you. So my travels here were just from high school straight here. I always knew I was going to continue to go to school. I'm a Libra, so I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a veterinarian, but I suck at math, and my life changed when I did a ride-along program with a police officer who had a police dog, because my other interest was training dogs, and I really envisioned myself as a trainer of guide dogs for blind. I think we've all, if you've been around or seen them training the dogs, I thought, that's what I'm going to do. But then I rode around with a police officer in both Richmond and San Francisco who had the dogs, and I realized, oh, law enforcement's pretty cool for me. So it's not everybody's jam, but I was really kind of leaning towards that, and I lived at home. My mom was primarily a single mother, and we just didn't have the money for me to go to college. And I really didn't feel, since I was not really clear where I wanted to go, that I would ask her to spend that money for me. So I came here, and I enjoyed every moment of it. I took a lot of law enforcement classes, and since then I've taken other classes, and I just want to say I was writing them down. After I got my 2-year degree here, I did go to Sonoma State University, and I really appreciate that now you have such a great relationship with them, that people can navigate to Sonoma State. I think that's really crucial, and I always tell youth when I talk to them, education will never hurt you. Anything you learn is never going to harm you. No one can take it away from you, and you never know where you're going to end up. But so since I graduated from here, I did go to Sonoma State, and then I got my law degree at Bowling University. I've taken a Spanish class, an Italian class, a piano class, a speed reading class, an exercise class, an astronomy class, which I wasn't good at that either. And I've come to several events here. You guys hosted the very first Not in Our Town event, a anti-hate group has a national presence. My first meeting with NIAT was there. Every year you guys help host and May Mental Health Awareness Month. I come and help celebrate that initiative that we have in the county for suicide prevention, especially awareness for men. And we've been here for gun safety forums and seminars, and it never ends, the experience you can get here in this college. So I just think it's really astounding, frankly. That would be my, I think, descriptor for this college. And also a lot of stuff goes on at IBC as well, so.
For me, it's 2 big points in my life. The first part, actually before I was born, my parents. My mom is an immigrant from Guatemala. My father's an immigrant from El Salvador. They came to Marin, mom in 79, dad in 80. They were undocumented at the time, and they met here in an ESL class at College of Marin. So, but for the college, my parents would have met, and I wouldn't be here today. And then the second part was in high school. The reality is I loved current events. So I would go home after high school and listen to the news, Noticiero Univisión in Spanish, and then CNN at night. I'd listen to, back in the day, KGO News Talk 810. I loved the news, but I didn't do my homework. And so when high school ended, the reality is I graduated with a 2.4 GPA at Santa Fe. And growing up in Marin, we know a lot of folks, they go on to 4-year institutions, they go to other institutions. And my attitude at first was, I didn't do something, right? I didn't go off to a 4-year university the way my other friends did and classmates. And so I came to College of Marin at first thinking, this is kind of it for me. Well, that changed literally about an hour into my first class. I fell in love with College of Marin. I fell in love with my classes. My instructors were absolutely amazing. My classmates were incredible. And I absolutely loved my time here at College of Marin. It changed my life. I would not have had the opportunities I've had later on in life without College of Marin, because it literally changed the trajectory of my life.
That's amazing. Okay, so we're gonna go a little back. Thinking back, what role did Com play in shaping your career and life path?
I can answer this one. I'll start out by saying it was actually rather unexpected. I can tell you one story that's really positive really quickly. One, I started out as a theater major, and I took an improv class here at College of Marin, and I worked full time, and as a young person, it's really tempting to sleep in rather than go to class. I wasn't the upstanding student that I later became, so I ended up having a frank conversation with my professor, and she said to me, "You're doing really great in this class. Unfortunately, you're not showing up. And if you don't show up, I can't allow you to continue." And it was a lesson that I've carried with me throughout the rest of my life, throughout my career. You have to show up. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see the work production that you create unless you show up and you're reliable and dependable. So that was a big and hard lesson for me. Lesson number 2, I took an American political science class, and at the end of the class, I really enjoyed it, lots of thoughtful discussion and debate. My professor said to me, "Have you ever thought about a career as a lobbyist?" And I didn't know what to do with that. I thought that was interesting, and as a business major at that time, gone from theater to business, I didn't think much of it. And I spent about 15 years of my career in retail management and banking, and now I find myself in a career in which I work in government. And while my title is not a lobbyist, I do lobby every day, both internally and externally, for the benefit of the county. And what I want to take away from that story is that that professor saw me. He saw my potential before I saw it for myself. And the first professor also saw me. And she gave me valuable advice that I carried with me that brought me success later in life. So both accountability and the possibility lessons for me, I take with me every day, and College of Marin gave me those gifts, and I'm really grateful for that.
Well, when I came to Com, I didn't know anything about school, so I was here learning English and trying to figure out what I was doing here. Right, I was taking these math classes and work and raising my kids. Somehow people started to helping me. I met Javier and all these teachers from the ESL program. They were always giving me ideas about what to do with math, because they told me, "Okay, you're good at math," and then for me I was like, "Wow." So what am I doing with that? Understanding the power of math was hard for me, because I didn't see anything as just cleaning, right? That was my job, cleaning houses. So I was here, and then people around me were telling me, "Okay, you can do this. And I just listened to them, and it was a really slow process until I saw the engineering, and I could be there. But I was like, I don't think I can be there. It's just not for me. But then I just continued working, right? The EOPS was a big deal my first 4 years, because Javier was just guiding me through the process and telling me, okay, these classes. And I was so lucky with my teachers, my math teachers. Dr. Roderick, she taught me how to love logs. I was always complaining about logarithm, and one day she told me, you have to think that you love it in order to pass this class. And I'm sitting here, and I applied that same concept with other classes, because I don't like English, I don't like to read and write, but then I have to pretend that I love it, right? So that's a big lesson. And then Mesa came, and I had different experiences, going to conferences, applying for different programs and research and other stuff. So I couldn't be here without the programs and the people who were supporting me through the whole 6 years that I spent here. I didn't even want to leave. I was really depressed because I didn't know what to do after Com, because I had all the support that I needed. So it just, Com was everything. Yeah.
So for me, I did determine that I wanted to have a law enforcement career, so I started working at the Santa Fe Police Department as a meter maid, an explorer, scout, and a a volunteer reserve police officer. But that was in the day that it was very difficult for women to get hired. In fact, statewide, one of the minimum criteria that you had to meet, which I did not, was you had to be 5'6" tall. And so I wasn't, but I continued to, as Crystal says, I continued to apply and show up and get rejected immediately out the gate when people measured me. But luckily, laws changed to give everyone, including women, more opportunities in law enforcement and many other careers. So the only place that really would hire me as a police officer was right here at the College of Marin. So I don't know how many of you know you've had a campus police department for years. The first, the woman who hired me was actually the first woman police officer here, I believe, and her name was Pat Baird. And so she was very instrumental in mentoring me and supporting me, and it was just lovely to see somebody in that position and know, you know what, I can do that. And I think it's really important that we have leaders who are willing to do that, and that the College of Marin was one of the few places in the state who would hire a woman in a law enforcement capacity. So after that, I was able to get hired in Santa Rosa, and but if not for the start here, and I still continue to take classes here as well while working. But you know, there's so much the college did for me, so I'm eternally grateful for that.
I think for me it's two categories. First, what I learned. I learned so much here at College of Marin in areas that I really like, history, economics, political science, but I also think about areas that I really did like at first, astronomy. I had to take astronomy because it was a requirement in order to transfer. I've not been the greatest at science. I capped out at chemistry, or not even in high school. And so I was like, okay, let's take the easiest class I can take that'll, fulfill my requirement. But it was really cool to actually learn and have that curiosity peaked and learn from others. And I got that from so many of my instructors here at College of Marin. They really inspired me. They really pushed us to learn, and it took the time to really work with us one-on-one, which is something that I didn't necessarily get later on when I transferred, just because of the dynamics. But the passion, the care that instructors took. And the second part were the people, my classmates, our staff members, the trustees. I see, trustee trainer. When I got to serve on the board of trustees as a student trustee, you helped me out so much, and with Carol, and just, folks I still keep in touch with to this day. I think of Jessie when I was campaigning for student trustee, and she was in the ESL department, and just I went out there, and just spoke with everyone, and the way folks took time to listen to. We were a community, we were a student body, and that meant everything to me. I think of Becky Reese over there. They're always in the tutoring center and helping out, and I should have gone more to the tutoring center. I apologize, Becky. But when I was there, you always helped out, and to me, the people to this day, that it means so much, because it's an experience that I didn't get later on when I transferred or I went to law school. Because what's amazing, what the best part of community college is that it really brings the community together. I have folks that were returning back to school. I have folks like myself that I just graduated from high school. We had veterans, we had mothers, we had folks that were trying their fourth, fifth time. But I got to learn from every single one of them. And to me, that was the most special part of being part of COM.
And that's a perfect way to end that, because it goes right into the next question, which is, were there any individuals at COM who had a significant impact on your journey, and how did they influence you? You can start if you want and go down.
There were so many folks. I think about David Cook in the financial aid office. I did not fill out a FAFSA, and he said, "Are you crazy?" Said it nicely, but he helped me out. I mean, I had an EFC of 0. I was working as a teller at Bank of America. I didn't know that I could really apply for FAFSA and what that meant, and getting a BOG waiver, that was huge. again, I come from a very, we're a proud low-income family, right? We're a working class family. But having someone just take a few minutes and pull you out of the hallway and say, hey, have you filled out your FAFSA? And this was almost, 3/4 of the way into my first year. And so that was huge. I think about Professors Pakula and Kennedy. I took a summer course, Econ 101, and Mr. Pakula, Norman Pakula was just incredible with me and really just taught me about what macroeconomics was, what microeconomics, lessons that I still use today. I think of Professor Kennedy and all the time I spent just chatting with him, and he was telling me, oh, you should become a Republican. No, no disrespect, right? But we had these great conversations, and he thought not because he necessarily believed it, he just, for other reasons, but those conversations, those, just everything, the mentoring, and I needed it because while I loved school, I didn't necessarily sometimes approach it the way I needed to. And so for me, so many folks really influenced my time and shaped my experience here.
So for me, I already mentioned Pat Baird, and I think I would just put her at the top of the list. I was a commuter student because I was working also, so I didn't really ever, actually until my last year of law school, ever have the experience of being a student and hanging around the campus and socializing with people and really learning and having those connection moments that you carry forever. So I lost out on that, but it worked out okay for me. So I think that's the one person I would say, and also the classes I was taking, there were a lot of professors who were just coming in just to teach one specific class, and but I did take that astronomy class. Maybe because it was mandated, I'm not sure, but so that I would say her, and also all the people I met when I was a campus police officer, so many students we met, and I learned how to really connect with people and see people for who they were, and that's where I understood that you have to always carry your empathy and vision of really seeing people with you. And I would also just highlight what Crystal said as well. It wasn't here, but at Sonoma State, there was a professor who encouraged me to go to law school, and I told him, absolutely not, you're never going to see me again here. Thanks a lot, I got my BA. It took 6 years between the two schools. And then the next semester, he saw me there taking the data processing class and said, I told you should maybe think about going to law school. You really should. Don't, you can always go, and I tell everybody this, you can always try something if you're really intrigued. And if it doesn't work out for you, then at least you know, and you don't have to wonder the rest of your life how it would have worked out. And I ended up going to law school, and I still regret not being able to go back and tell him that I appreciated that, him giving me that little push, because he passed away before I could tell him that. So it's important to thank people at Reminder, because you just never know what can happen. But also the value of counselors and having structure and support in this situation is really huge.
Well, I can mention like everyone because a lot of people supported me, but I have to say Anna Piloton was the first one who believed in me. She made it work, right? She knew the steps that I had to do, take in order to register at home. So she was the first one who actually, impacted my life. But then, the teachers, the ESL teachers, they were so helpful. Again, my math teachers. But there is a person who came the year when I was going to transfer, Nicole. I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I was ready to get out of here, but I didn't know next, right? I felt that I was going back to the same place when I started here. It was something new and scary, and I just had no idea how I was going to handle it, right? And she came, she helped me with my PIQs, writing and learning how to embrace my story, breaking all these questions down in a way that I understand what I needed to write, and without losing my voice, right? Because that's important. I can be writing, or someone can write for you, but then you don't feel it. And when I say something, I like to feel it when I read it. And it was difficult because, again, English is hard for me. I just I struggle a lot writing. And she helped me through the whole process. And then after graduating, she continued looking for me and then giving me advice and, hey, you need a scholarship, you need to find this help here. And now I'm back here working, giving something back. I always wanted to help my community. And with her and working now with her in Mesa, I feel like I'm doing what other people did for me for newer students. So it makes me so happy because I'm here, I'm back and working at home. I just don't want to leave this place. But yes, this is, yeah, Nicole made a huge impact and she's my bestie now.
Okay, that's really hard to follow. I've had the privilege of having College of Marin, really impact my life twice majorly. Once early on in my youth, when I came here the first time and I touched upon some of the lessons that I learned from my professors, who I'm really grateful for. It was exactly what I needed in that moment. The other thing, upon reflecting about my experience here, was that I was in a time of my life where I was working at a movie theater. I had just moved to Marin and had zero economic mobility. And I realized that going to college would be extremely expensive and I couldn't afford a four-year university, and College of Marin gave me the opportunity to continue earning credits. And similarly, I had a counselor that talked to me about what my opportunities were with the FAFSA, et cetera, and I was also eligible at that time to get the governor's fee waiver so that I could continue to pursue my education while working full-time. Secondly, community college is always here for you when you need it. When I was considering becoming a trustee and running for this office and looking for an appointment, I reached out to folks in this community to ask questions to find out how I could support this institution, because I have gained so much from community college. If you're a working professional, it is the opportunity to get in through the doors of a four-year university and pursuing, a career. And I wanted to support that in my volunteer world so that I can have other students benefit from this experience and this can continue. And I can't tell you how grateful I am for the folks that welcomed me and talked to me and really brought me in so that I can give that back. So I don't have just one person to thank. It is really the community of College of Marin that I'm grateful for, that has been meaningful for me, and I hope to be a little piece of that for future generations.
Okay, so next question. Is there a particular moment or experience from your time here that stands out as especially meaningful to you?
Coming back.
Yeah.
Coming back. Seeing everything that's happening here at the college throughout the years. I remember during the pandemic, I would run through the college throughout the years, seeing the new Center for Student Success go up, seeing the great work that President Eldridge is doing, that the faculty is doing, that the administrators, staff, everybody, and just to see all the opportunities. I also asked myself, where was this when I was a student here at college? I was to see all these cool things, programs, facilities, opportunities. To me, I just feel so proud.
It's seeing the growth and coming back, as I mentioned, for so many events that we come back for that College of Marin supports. And it's also engaging the students with things and about things they might not have thought about before. And I think that's just simply amazing. But I would say something in my work experience that goes back to College of Marin and the employees here. We had a case a couple of years ago where a young lady was taking classes here and asked a question about child support or child custody to one of the counselors here. And they had enough training in human trafficking to really cause a concern for this young lady. And as it turned out, she was being trafficked, and we were able, it was on such a high level, the person who was doing this to her, that we actually had the FBI take over the investigation and help this young woman whose child was actually being kept from her by her trafficker. And so you never really know how you're influenced and what you're learning about what your students might be going through. I know we're so much more enlightened now than anybody was in the past about that and other things that happen to students, but I think having such an aware and diverse and people with lived experience in these leadership positions is really important. And that, to me, that's the most meaningful thing when I look back about college and grants and what it's done for the community. I know what it's done for me, but I will always carry with me what they did and what that counselor did for this young lady.
Okay, so I have like two moments. One is the day when I was working with Athens in the new building. They sent me to the roof of the building, and I saw this like beautiful view. And that was big for me because when they started the building, I used to walk around there and dream that maybe they would open an opportunity for us to work in there. And then 5 years later, Mesa and other teachers made it happen. So it was like, wow, it happened, right? Don't stop dreaming, as I thought, right? And the second one was when I graduated from here, just going and just walking and thinking back, my time here. I was supposed to be just doing my life and continue working, right? Because that's what the system tells you. You come here, you have to work. This is the life you're choosing as an immigrant, okay? And I just didn't want to. And then getting all these associates, it was for me, it was like a way to say like, no, we're not criminals. I'm going here and this is my way to fight. I remember in 2018, I just want to go back to my country because they say we're back, and I stay, and now I'm here, and now I'm fighting for my community because I want other people to have, have the same experience that I had. So yeah, graduating from COM was a big deal because I was supposed to have it.
Can you repeat the question? I was completely. Yeah. Is there a particular moment or experience from your time here that stands out as especially meaningful?
Yes, I'm going to piggyback off of what Mario was talking about. It's every time I come back to this campus. This is, and I'm going to borrow from Dr. Eldridge, this is a communities college. I've been here for lectures, I've seen plays here, I've been to Convocation, I've been here for student events. This is where community inspires hope and opportunity, and I am just in awe by what this college community continues to do. And even though we're like at the top of our game most of the time, we're always reaching higher. And it's all for the benefit of the students in our community, and I love to just be a witness at the end of the day to all the hard work that you do. I get to be voice in the community on your behalf, celebrating your successes, but make no mistake, I know it's you. And I'm really appreciative of the work and everything you put into making this place unique and special. And there's a reason why we're celebrating 100 years, is because the people want more, and they continue to invest in this space because this is an innovative space for everyone to enjoy. So this is my happy place. So thank you for that.
That also goes perfectly into the next question, which is, what advice would you give to our current employees about the impact that they can have on today's and future students?
you make a difference every single day. Every interaction that you have with our students, you inspire them, you make them believe what is possible, but not just believe, you help them make it into action. You make it a reality for them. Every interaction really shapes our perception about things, our experiences. And I just think about that student that maybe isn't, you're always going to have that student that loves to raise their hand. They're great, they're awesome, right? But think about that student that sometimes you have to fish out a little bit more, right? And maybe you have to call them because they're never going to raise their hand. And what impact you have on that student. And because sometimes you just need a little bit of a push to have a huge change. And you get a student to get excited a little bit about this, and then they start coming more, they go to office hours, and they take those skills to other classes. And they say, maybe I didn't love chemistry as much, but I found a way to do it. And now I have this other subject that I'm also not as strong in, but I now know how to get there. And so for me, it's an entire community. All of us have an impact on our student body each and every day.
Ditto. You really said what needed to be said, and I 1000% agree with you. And the other thing to Mario's point is, and I think you all have this in your hearts anyway, but really don't ever give up on students, because you just don't know. Sometimes I was at kids in the back of the class, and I'm sure we all were, and sometimes I was right in the front because somebody had really energized me about whatever topic it was that day or whatever the class was. And just don't give up, and also don't assume that you know what these students are going through. A lot of them have not great life experiences coming here, or maybe their family situations aren't wonderful, but I know that we're all so much more aware of how to really help people navigate those situations these days. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is just don't give up on kids and always try and remain positive. And we have more than kids here also, but I just want to say I am so impressed by everything you have done and how you honor the school, and you are a rocket scientist. So even though we don't have one here today, you are so brilliant in every way, and I just want to thank you for sharing and saying some very brave things today.
Okay, I think teachers can make you hate school or love school. That's the reality, right? I was lucky that my professor, my teachers, I had a good experience. I had office hours on Sunday with Dr. Everett. He was so flexible with me because he knew I had kids. Caitlin, she let me write in a different way. So I'm not saying you have to break the way you teach. It's just maybe sometimes you can adapt some stuff for students that are different, because not everyone had the opportunity to come straight to high school or go to school. When you have ESL students, it's hard. We're processing the way and things in a different way. Sometimes we're translating things. And if you don't have a professor or a teacher who support you, you're just gonna give up. Because if you don't believe if that person can do math, it's you're just telling them, just go away, this is not for you. And then that's why things don't change. Sometimes we don't see many women scientists, engineers, because there's sometimes, sorry to say this, but there's a white man who does not know how it feels to be a woman doing math and having a family, or being the ones who's supposed to be taking care of their parents if they get old. So we have different experiences, and if you can be nicer, or be nice, we'll be happy with you.
I think keep doing what you're doing, and that's seeing your students. And community college has like a really big ask in that we do have to meet our students where they're at every age, at every stage and phase of their life. And they're here because they want to invest in themselves, and I think as faculty and staff and trustees, really any role you play here at the community college, we have a responsibility to cultivate that. To whatever extent that student is able to take that in at that moment. Sometimes there's going to be lessons they're going to learn here that they're not able to absorb until later in life. And sometimes we can be that intervention to get them back on track or to accelerate their successful pathways, whether it be to a UC if they needed to be here first. I would just say continue to do the good work that you're doing, and that you have a community of folks that want to do right by your students, and I think that we lean on that, and I think we continue to build on that. So thank you.
So as we celebrate our centennial and look towards the future, what do you hope COM continues to do for the next generation of students, our alumni? Not everyone jump at once.
I know. It's a hard question because you've come so far on one level. It's just hard to imagine how you could be bigger and better and more inclusive. And that's really my struggle is just I really think just keep on going and keep expanding and inviting people and being welcoming to everyone in the community and having programs for immigrants and people who need scholarships. It's just to envision that other than taking up more space, which would also always be lovely, and more expansion and housing for students. Those are the kind of things that that are awesome and make it more easier for students and their families to get this education that they so richly deserve. So that's really just stay on it, because I think full court press.
For me, I think COM is doing a good job, but I still think that there's more work to be done. We need more programs like MESA, like to support more students, because MESA is for STEM students, but then there's so much people here. And I have the feeling that the ESA community is there at night in the dark, and we're always okay, we have ESA classes, but that's it. I feel like people forget about us most of the time. And I was there at night, and I didn't know what happened in home during the day. It was just sometimes I feel sad and lonely. So I have that idea that something good can happen, or something can come with a program that supports these students who come after work and they're here and trying to learn English for at least better life, better work, and I hope they do something.
I think to that end, to whatever extent we can remain nimble, and whether that is offering, classes during the day that is available to a wide variety of students, to those at night, online, whatever format reaches our students best, whether it's even in the community at like Canal Alliance, some of the classes that we have there, and are there opportunities to expand, does that make sense? I think also making sure that we're deeply embedded in the business community to understand what's up and coming and how can we prepare our students to earn true living wages in Marin County. I wear two different hats. I work for the county, and so I see this missing middle. And I'm afraid if we don't start filling that in, we're gonna have a tough time as a county continuing to be sustainable. And College of Marin has a real opportunity to help us fill that in and prepare our students so that they see a county where they're welcomed, where there's opportunity for good paying jobs, and want to invest in a future and maybe raise a family here.
I really want to echo what's been previously said by our alumni panelists. I would say, one, let's continue with our great education, because we have a great education here, College of Marin. Second, let's never stop innovating. Let's always find new opportunities to better serve our students, better serve our community, And lastly, let us never stop talking and showing the value that we bring to our entire county. Sometimes people overlook the value of our college, and to me, it's our crown jewel here in Marin, and we should always, always talk about it.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that any of you would love to share with our audience here? Any last words? It's okay if you don't have any. Yeah, go for it.
Nice one. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everything you have done with, well, in this case, it's for me. It was crazy when I came here and just think about going to college. And now seeing myself and as a mechanical engineer, you see David. It felt impossible. I was thinking probably I'll be at Com for 9 years, and I spent 6, so I was close. And I had a great time. I have good memories, and just going, just looking back and think, it was great. So thank you for the support, and thank you for letting me dream that things are possible, you know, and just I hope you continue doing this like nice job and with a new building, like, you know, have more students or programs or whatever. It was a really nice experience. Hopefully, I will, you know, one day I want to come back and teach.
Can't top that. Definitely. Well, thank you so much. Is my mic working? Yes. All right. Thank you so much to our alumni panelists for coming up and sharing your story and showing how much COM means to you. We're really grateful to have you back on campus, and we will see you soon teaching in classes here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And let's thank Melissa for doing a great job as a moderator. We have a little token of appreciation for our panelists today. But I will also So, I also, Malika, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, or any particular thing that came up for you as an alum as they were talking that you'd like to share real quickly to them?
Definitely. So I started COM in 2017, and actually I had family that basically did not encourage college. They said, you know, you're not going to college because of their own experience of not being able to afford it. And when luckily I had a mentor who helped me with the whole process of even getting in, and I was afraid of FAFSA, I was afraid of all the things, and I'm getting teary-eyed, a little emotional, but COM saved my life. I had a hard time growing up in Marin County as an African-American woman, and only knowing that, well, what was shown to me that I can only be working in childhood education, which I think is amazing. But it wasn't until the COM professors here that saw me said, I don't know, I think you need to be doing business or communication or something. And I'm gonna shout out Amoja, Colleen Myhall, Bonnie Borenstein, Richard Crawford, and there's so many people, Renetta Early, Walter Turner, just Nikisha Dyer, just my community here at COM that really, Sadiqa, how could I forget Sadiqa, Salman Hara, T, I'm like trying to get everybody in. But if it wasn't for the community here, I wouldn't be here on the stage, and somehow I made it back to COM, and now I'm working at marketing and communications, helping show the college how great we are, and so I just feel really privileged and blessed and honored to be here amongst everyone and continue to just support students that are like me and those who aren't like me, that they can succeed and be the best that they can. So I appreciate everyone here. I feel so honored to be a part of the team of College of Marin.
Thank you, Melissa. We've got a couple of things we're going to share with folks. You're welcome to head off the stage so you're not in the spotlight any longer. I would say that our alumni panelists, schedules permitting, I know that they're very busy, but my hope is, I believe they will all be able to join us along with another alum of the college, Mark Zaruto, our Transfer Career Center coordinator, over at the Transfer and Career Center in the new building. As soon as we're done here for a little reception for them, we have another reception you'll hear about here in a moment as well. But thank you again to everyone for being here today. I know I actually invited them to come, and I was still shocked, surprised, inspired by some of the things they had to share. I didn't know about all their stories, and it really is a testament to the past that this college, what we have meant to the community for the past 100 years. But thank you also for your thoughts, advice, thinking about the college in the future. We are the stewards of the college in the moment, which means that we get to decide what this college is for the next generation of alums, the next many generations of alums over the next 100 years, which is, I think, very exciting as well as a lot of responsibility. So I'm so thankful to be doing that work with all of you. It's now my pleasure to bring to the stage Dave Patterson and Sarah Fry, who have an announcement and a gift.
Good morning, everyone.
How about another round of applause for Malika and our wonderful alumni panelists. Well, we hope you'll join us next semester for Common Read, a year-long college-wide shared reading celebration.
Common Read will begin in August and end in May of 2027.
This is our 5th Common Read, but we've never introduced the Common Read selection this early in the process.
So you might wonder, why are we announcing it now in January, 7 months early?
2 reasons. First, the book is about immigration, a topic that is of great concern to us because of the current political climate.
Yes, thank you. As we all know, many of our students are immigrants or the children of immigrants. Why don't you read this one, Sarah?
Reading the book now will give us a chance to process the ongoing humanitarian catastrophe while the issue is so urgent.
Second, this will give us all time to prepare for the official launch in August. Faculty are encouraged to integrate the book into your curriculum and your work with students and colleagues.
Staff are encouraged to engage around the themes of the book in your everyday work and professional development.
So, you might be asking, what's the book?
We are proud to announce that the Centennial Common Read pick for 2026-2027 is
Solito by Javier Zamora.
Solito is a New York Times best-selling book.
Javier Zamora grew up in El Salvador and in San Rafael.
He tells the unforgettable story of his harrowing migration from El Salvador to the United States at the age of 9.
This is the part we love so much. Javier's parents were students in College of Marin's ESL program while he was making this journey from El Salvador. You'll read about this in the book.
How often do you get a chance to read about the College of Marin in a New York Times bestseller?
Yeah. A little bit more about Javier and Solito. Javier earned his bachelor's degree from UC Berkeley and an MFA from New York University.
He's received fellowships at Stanford and Harvard.
Today's show host Jenna Bush Hager selected the book as one of her Read with Jenna book club titles.
We invite faculty from across the college to engage students in studying the book from your discipline's point of view.
So we're anticipating a wide variety of book discussions, panel talks, poetry readings, cultural events with food, music, dancing, and more.
Drama instructor Dr. Erin McBride Africa held a flex session yesterday to lead the creation of a community-based theater project, gathering local immigration stories, building partnerships, and shaping an original work during COM's centennial year.
Let's hear it for Erin. Let's hear it for our drama department. Yeah. This work of devised theater, that's a term that Erin has taught us, devised theater, where the actors devise it together. This work will run for 3 weeks in late April and early May.
The culminating event, an evening with Javier Zamora, will take place on Thursday, May 6, 2027. It's about a year and a half now, right here in the James Dunn Theater.
If you'd like to learn more, please join us tomorrow on a flex session at 9:30 in the morning on Zoom.
So let's all join together as a college to teach students that reading builds empathy and understanding and can be a powerful form of protest and resistance.
UC Davis is currently teaching or reading and teaching Solito as their campus community book project for this academic year.
We've already invited Marin County Public Libraries to join us, and we plan to invite local K-12 libraries to join us as well.
This gives us a chance to come together as a college, as a county, as a state, and as a nation to stand with immigrants and their allies.
So good news, pick up a copy of the book in the lobby on your way out this morning.
Yeah. These are yours to take and keep, and we'll have free copies for students starting in August.
Thank you very much. We're going to turn it back over to Steve Pereira and Alyssa Graff for closing remarks. And as they're making their way to the stage here, let's give it up for them. Thank them for a wonderful Flex Week.
Hi everybody, my name is Steve Carrera, I'm the Faculty Flex Coordinator. I'd like to first thank the M&O staff for all of their work that they've done this week. Thank you very much. And I would like to personally thank Mary Kessler and Jesse Klein for all of the work they've done. So thank you. I'm here to remind you to make sure you sign in for Convocation. That is my purpose. But also to remind you about the UPM meeting at 12 o'clock, and then your department meetings at 1:40, all right?
And I'm Alyssa Graff. I'm the Class 5 Professional Development Coordinator here. And one thing that we have that's very exciting and has opened up in the new building is a new Professional Learning and Development Center. It's a very long name, so we're calling it the PLDC, another acronym for you guys to know. And we are going to have an open house right after Convocation. It's perfect because you can go in through the second floor, check out the alumni reception, and then head down to the first floor where we are located. The Professional Learning and Development Center, the true purpose is it is for all employees, staff, faculty, administrators to really grow in their professional learning. And we need your help to know what you want to see. This is for all of us to develop together, and so there'll be some food in there. I know that always brings people in, as well as just some different things you can engage in to really grow our professional learning so we can help you best to be able to help and serve the students. So come over to the new building, walk around, check it out, it is amazing. Go to the alumni reception and then head down for the Professional Learning Center open house. So we're very excited to see you all there, and thank you again for coming to Convocation and just being a part of this meeting. Thank you. All right, we're good to go.